So so members, let us be attentive. So Hadija, okay, Hadija, packages they enable us to write the code very fast. Okay, so for example, you see we have classes of Bootstrap. We have class. Hey Hadija, please try to be attentive. Allah, try to be attentive. Okay. So you see, I create, for example, div here. Okay. So if I put classes of Bootstrap, for example, we know a class called BG Danger. So if I put BG, can you see those suggestions? Okay. So if you don't have packages, you won't be able to see those suggestions. So that's why I say that we need to install packages in order to do what? To be faster in your in your practicing. So to install packages, you should note down. You press Ctrl and Shift and P. Okay, note down Hadija. Maybe you may forget this. Ctrl Shift, please. Ctrl Shift P. Then you write the word install. Install. Yeah. Then this install will come. Then you click on install. Then it will process down here, and after I finish processing, again it will bring back that pop-up dialog box. This one again, it will bring it again, so you can search whatever you want. For example, I can search Bootstrap. So yeah, no, you'll see the video in case you want to. I'm recording this video, so see again. Just press Ctrl Shift P and then write the word install, and then you see packages, install packages. So it will refresh and then give you back this pop-up dialog box, and then you search the package that you want. For example, you want HTML package, so you can write that HTML and then see packages of HTML, and then you install them by just double clicking on them. But for me, I already have these packages, so I don't need to install them again. Okay, let me disconnect. Sorry, no, yeah, someone had put in his Wi-Fi, so my internet went to his Wi-Fi and it's now back. I hope you can get me now. Okay, so these packages, they'll make you faster in your programming. Now you'll do that. So I'm going to be very fast in what both of you, I told you to practice. So I'm going to create I'll begin from colors. Okay, so we say that Bootstrap has its own contextual colors. These colors, they help us to practice very fast in whatever we are doing. For example, we say that these colors are organized in form of our daily normal life feelings, but you can still change them. Okay, for example, you see, if there is something wrong, we always show what? A red color. And if there's something success, always say what? A success color. So according to these, Bootstrap made around 7 colors that you can use them in context of the information that you are communicating. For example, you have BG primary. This one is kind of blue. We have BG success. We have info. We have warning. We have danger. And then you can guess this danger is a what? Is a red color. Secondary, dark and light. Okay, so these colors, we can use them to play many things. For example, if I open this file of colors, so I can right click on it and say open what open in browser, so it will show me this. Now, like I told you, these colors, we can either use them in 2 ways. We can either use them, you can use them in different ways. Among the ways that we can use them as text colors. For example, if I have here my lorem ipsum p, and I put lorem and then press tab key. Ahadi, do you know that? Do you know lorem ipsum, Ahadi? Hadij? Is she really there? Fatsumat? Sorry, my internet is disturbing. My cable was not fitting there. I think you can get me now. Now Hadi had just decided to go to sleep. Hadi, are you there? Okay, sorry. So, do you know, Hadija was asking you, do you know lorem ipsum? Ah, very good. So, if I put class, there are different ways how I can format this paragraph. For example, if I come and refresh, this paragraph will just be having a what? A default color. But Bootstrap has given us different color that you can play with. So if I say text, then it means that I'm referring to what? To text. So if I say text danger, it will show me the red color, right? If I come and change to text warning, it will come and show us this yellowish color, you know, like just traffic light colors. So if I come and say text what? Info, it will show us this bluish color. If I come and say text success, I mean secondary, it will show this grayish color. If I come and say, let me duplicate this line, Ctrl-Shift-D, Ctrl-D. Oh, I install packages that are disturbing me now. So if I say primary, okay, so it will show me the bluish color. You can see this one. So you cannot show a success message, for example, if someone has successfully created their account and then you put a danger color. Okay, Adija, why are you playing with the laptop? Okay, just mind my business. Okay, so if someone see this color, if I come and refresh, so if there is a warning message, maybe someone has created an account successfully, then you have to show them this success color, which is kind of greenish. Now, these colors, we can have them in different contexts. For example, we can even use them as background colors. So if you want to relate to background, we say we use what? We use BG. For example, I can as well say here BG info. So it means that the background of this one is going to be that color of info, of bluish. I can relate to it. Maybe I can say BG danger. Then you know it will be what? Kind of reddish. That's a very harsh color. And I can say text what? Text white. And then the color will be white. So with this we can make our programming faster. In simple terms, I mean that when I refer to text, I say text, and when I refer to the background, I say BG. So we proceed. I'll go to tables without wasting much time. So to keep your code well organized and maybe reusable for your friends in future, or to trace back, it is better to be numbering your what? Your code. So if I want to create another file, another technique, you press Ctrl-Shift-S. Ctrl-Shift-S will enable you to create a new file with the same code, and the other code original remains there. Ctrl-Shift-S. So I can put here 3. So this 3, it means that it is the third file that I'm using to do what? To practice. And then I put the name of this topic that I'm talking about, which is tables. So I can come and just paste here tables, or I can write it tables. So there I can know that I can trace back that I started from here to here to here. So you see that the technique of pressing Ctrl-Shift-S, it enables us to resume from where we stopped, but in a what? In a new file. I hope you can see that. So to create a Bootstrap table, I'll delete all what we had before. Let us look at what? At Bootstrap tables. So I'll come back here. So if you know HTML tables, I can just simply say table and press the tab key. So if you have the packages, it will write for you the whole table within just seconds, within microseconds. So I have maybe a table, and here I have maybe ID. I have here student name, and maybe I have department, and maybe I have what? I have gender. So this will be enough for us to, maybe gender should be next to the person, gender, and then I can put what should I put? Okay, course. Okay, country maybe. Okay, so I'm trying to create my table here faster. I have a problem with my Sublime text, cannot duplicate a line. So I'll paste here, maybe have one here. Why am I suffering? Okay, so let's come to Bootstrap and documentation here. You come to Bootstrap website, there's a documentation. So I'll search here table, okay? So that's another technique, write down Bootstrap documentation. Get bootstrap.com, then documentation. So you should come there and play with it so much. It will help you so much to save your time. So you see I was suffering with this table and I said, why am I suffering? So you can simply come here to Bootstrap and then you'll see the code, you learn about it, and then you see the code itself. The reason why we are following W3 schools is just because its syllabus is organized. But this is just the documentation. The syllabus is not organized. So when you're learning something here, you can come and learn more about it on what? On official Bootstrap website, which is getbootstrap.com. So for example, if you've seen me, I'll come to getbootstrap.com and I search tables, then I've seen these tables. So to get the code like this one, this is a very powerful technique. You should all know it. You come to Get Bootstrap, and in case you want something, a code like that, you just simply click on copy code here. Just click on this and then come and paste here. It will make you very fast in your development process, and then you'll have the whole code. Your task is just what? Is to modify. No one cares whether you copied it or not. So, so where do you get it? Yeah, you're in IoT, you don't need it. There's full internet here. Why do you need offline? Okay, anyway. Yeah, it's good. So can you see? I have that table. But let's try to break this table step by step. It is just a plain HTML table. Remove the Bootstrap class. Okay? Can you see? That's a plain HTML table. If I make just plain HTML table, it will be like this. Okay? Now let us try to look at these steps, classes of Bootstrap tables, step by step. So if I put here just table, a class of table, in the main table I put just a class of what? Of table, and I save. I come and refresh. By just putting a class, it will create for me something like this. Let us try to look at it. What has it changed? It has made this table to be 100% width of the container that was containing it, and it has put this kind of can you see this kind of lines on the bottom, and then it has and it has made this one to be a little bit bolder, and it's bolded by just adding a class of what? Of table. Okay, so in 10 minutes this class will end, and then we shall have a break for 5 minutes and then resume, and then in the next session it will be just serious work. Okay, you understand? Yeah, in 10 minutes this class will end, and then we shall resume after what? After 10 minutes. So I say by just putting this class of table, it will create for us this 100% table with these kind of designs. Now let us look at other classes of Bootstrap that are supporting tables. I mean that we can use for tables. We have this class of table dark. In fact, it's just like a contextual what? You remember the contextual colors that we talked about? So we can again use them here. For example, if we add here table dark, it will create for us something like this. Can you see? It's beautiful. Within just seconds, you make something beautiful like that. I can come and change this contextual color. You remember the contextual color that I talked about? So the same here, you can just switch them, you can play with them. So table danger, maybe you're showing the students who failed, so you can show them in that kind of table danger. You say this is a student that failed. Maybe you want to show the student who have succeeded or have passed. So you can create a new table, and I can put here what? Can you guess the class? Very good. And then it will show that greenish table. Okay, so with that we can play with these contextual colors, and they can change the what with our table. So I hope you've understood that. So let us look at another class of table. We have this t-head, table head. So this table head can help us to change the contextual color of the table head, and we put it inside the head of the table. For example, I have this table. Let me leave only the table, and then I come and put here class. I put t-head dark. So if I come and refresh, I'll have this beautiful table head dark, only the table head. So I can come again. We can play with them with using the contextual colors. So that's how the t-head works. Let us look at another class. I'll be faster. We have another class which is table bordered. Okay, table bordered will make the whole table to be bordered. For example, this class we add it on top on the. You see this table head? I add it in the header. Header tag. But this one table bordered, I put it on the what? On the table itself. So table bordered. Can you see? Can you observe the change? We have got these kind of beautiful borders. You see? It really speeds us. It really makes us speedy. Our programming process to be speedy. Otherwise, if you write your own CSS to make beautiful UIs like these ones, it can take you time. So you can still play with this one. For example, if this was table dark, let me show you. If we added contextual color table dark, then still the table dark will adopt these bordering. Can you see those kind of whitish colors? So I proceed. We can still make a borderless. This is a new class. Someone has run away. We can make table borderless. If I copy this and come and paste it here, table borderless, then it means it will not contradict with this one. Borderless. You see, it is a new class. It was not there before. Fatu, I hope you're following. Okay, so can you see that beautiful table without border? So that's called table borderless. It's a new class. It was not there in Bootstrap 4. You can see it just came in Bootstrap what? Bootstrap 4.4. You can see, okay? So it is really powerful class. I didn't know it even. Borderless. Yeah. Table borderless. Beautiful class. Okay. So we proceed. Table borderless, it will make for us something beautiful like that one. Table rows, okay. I have this class, table hover. Okay. Table hover, I just simply put table hover. Table hover. So this table hover will make our table what? Hoverable. Can you see? Yeah. So if you have a very large number of data, someone can simply know where they are pointing at. Okay? So we proceed to what? Following this. That was table hover. We have table stripped. I mean, these are the contextual colors for what? for specific rows and of the table. You see, you can even put just only row on a single what? On a single column, on a single table row. For example, I can just choose this, only this table row, and I paste there. I give it just class success. So that table will stand what? Will stand out, that row, and have that contextual color. I hope you can see that. Okay? And I put it only just on a single row. So we proceed. You see these BG colors, they can make things to really stand out. So if you're good at designing, you can design something beautiful than me. For example, how did they do that? You see, this one was just table success. You can see it is having this kind of faded color. It's kind of success, but it's not really success. But if you want to make something to be having that contextual color of success, what do we do? So I'll come and copy this table row. Okay, so to do that, I'll just simply give it BG what? Success, and then I give text what? Text white. So by doing that, I'll get something like this. Can you see? This was table success, but this is, we have manually made it with BG success and text white. I hope you get me. Do you? Yeah, so you can play with these all, and you can make beautiful UIs, even better than me if you want. So those are the table classes of Bootstrap. We have table responsive. This table will be responsive in case we put table responsive. Let us look at this. Okay, the way you put table responsive, you put it outside the div. Try to be attentive here. It's really important. Most of people make errors and they put this table responsive outside. Now let me show you. I'll put this one inside the div. I'll collapse this one. Our class is going to end in 1 minute, the first session. Within 1 minute, we'll just see it disconnecting, and then we shall resume after 5 minutes. So if I refresh, there's nothing that has changed, but if we make this table, if I reduce it to this, okay, if I put table responsive, this table will be responsive on a what? On mobile menu. In case someone wants to scroll, to put a scroll bar on bottom, but this one is not responsive, it will not put on bottom. And then to put responsiveness, you put that responsive inside the div that is containing that table itself, not on the table itself. Okay? So I think we are going to end our class at this point, and then we shall resume in the next session after 5 minutes. Okay? The one, the responsiveness? No, the responsiveness, in case the data is too much. Let me show you. Let me put on the mobile. Okay, let me put on the mobile size. Okay, in case the data is too much, in case you have too much data, this responsiveness, it will make you able to do what? To scroll on the bottom. But here we don't have too much data, that's why you cannot see the scrolling bar. Okay? But if the data was too much, you could be able to see the scrolling bar. That's what I mean. We shall look at it when we come in front there. That table responsiveness. It's really useful when you're making a responsive website. Zoom is not ending the call. So we are going to look at Bootstrap classes for images. So I'll save this file, Ctrl-Shift-S, save it as what? As 4. Hadija, when you start learning, you should also be organizing your work like that. Okay, so 4 images, and then I'll remove this div, and then just get some images. Let me save these images. I have some images. Okay, I have some images in my laptop. Yeah. Okay, let us use these very ones. So I'll come, save image, save as. I'll go to my desktop. I'll go to FAT2, fatu. I'll create a new folder. It's better to be organizing your folder. So I'll create a new folder and call it img. And inside that img, I'll save these images. It is Paris, but I'll save it 1.jpg. Okay? So that is image 1.jpg. I'll save this image. I'll save it as 2.jpg. And then lastly, I'll save this one as what? As 3.jpg. So those are my images you can see here in the img. So it is better to be organizing your content. Images in their folder, CSS in their folder, things like that. So if I want to put here an image, I can give img tab key, and then src will be img stroke what? Stroke 1.jpg. So I can come, okay, let us first look at that by simply right clicking and say show in browser. Then it will show us this image. Okay, let us play with this image. Let me put some BR tags here, BR tag, and then copy this, copy this, and then paste. I'll put this one 2.jpg. Come and refresh. We have those two images. Okay, so I'll be showing you some classes that you've not seen before, but don't worry, we shall look at them. So for example, we have padding. So this padding ranged from we have margin. We abbreviate it as M in Bootstrap, and it ranges from 1 to what? To 4. To 5. I can say M1, M2, M3, M4, M5. So you have learned that one also, Share. So if I say M2, it will create some margin of 2. Can you see that small margin that has been created? I can range it. It can range up to 5. If I refresh, you see when I say 5, the margin increases. Okay, you can still specify margin top by saying MT, so it will be only the margin on top size, on top side. I can say ML, so you can guess. If I say ML, I mean what? Very good, margin left. So I can come here and put this one M5, MT, and ML5. So you've learned that one also. So you can see that kind of margin. So when you want to use margin in Bootstrap, that's how you can play with them very fast. So I'll come here and search the image classes. Okay, image classes of Bootstrap. So on documentation, I can click there. So let us look at some. We follow W3 schools. Let's follow W3 schools. Okay, have rounded. So if I come here and just put class, okay, on the image. Okay, so we begin at the class of image. img rounded. Okay, border rounded. No, these are not about the image, but it's just for the border. So if I put border, then border rounded. Sorry, I just put rounded. Okay, just putting rounded, it will create for us these beautiful corners. Just look, I've not refreshed. Now when I refresh, can you see that beautiful thing here in the corner? I don't know if you can observe it. Let me remove this rounded thing. I refresh, it is corner, pointed corner. But if you put this rounded, just rounded, it will make for us this kind of curve. Can you see? So that is just rounded itself. Okay, so you should know that class of Bootstrap. We have another class, rounded circle. No, you usually use this one when you're making profile photos, when you see profile photos. So to make rounded circle, you should know that rounded and rounded circle, they're different classes. So let me first make this one okay, let me just put it first and then you see the problem. Rounded circle. Okay, so if I do like that, let me refresh, I'll have this ugly thing. Can you see? It's trying to make it kind of circle and it's not circle. So if I want, let me put here M5, that you should have some margin and separated. Can you see that? But if I want it to be that circle, kind of good circle like of Facebook profile photo, I also have to specify and put the width, or I can write some simple style, and then maybe give it width of 300 pixels and what, and height of 300 pixels. That's why we need to know some basics of what, of CSS, if you need to be an expert in these things. So can you see that beautiful 100% rounded circle? So if you want to do that, you have to specify the what, the width and height. Otherwise it will be that kind of funny circle that you saw before. For example, if I make this one 100, and this one 100, so you have to specify, and the width and height have to be of the same size, so you can have that beautiful circle. So we shall not sleep there, we shall just continue. We have another class of Bootstrap that supports image. I'll just copy this and then paste it here, and then give this one img thumbnail. Okay, it's called img thumbnail. Okay, this img thumbnail will let me try to make it fast and then we'll explain it. Okay, so let's look at img thumbnail and see what it brings. You see img thumbnail, can you see this? It brings this kind of border, and in the normal feeling, in your normal sense, you will just know that this image is not the exact image, not the full image. So it's just like when you're making a gallery, many images, you have to first present all the images, which you call thumbnails. Then when someone clicks on that image, you should see a full image. So here it can just communicate to your brain. Can you see this? That this is not the full image. I have to click first to see the what? The full image. That's what you call what? Thumbnail. So if you want to make something like this, you have to give that class of what? Of thumbnail. So to implement it, you can just use it something like this. Let me show you. I can put here my a tag, and then I put here I surround it with what? img thumbnail. So can you see? It is clickable, right? But it's taking us to nowhere. So if I want to show that someone can click on this, maybe let me make it 2 here, that someone can click on this, so I have to put here the link, the src, to point at what? At the image itself. So I'll put here, instead of hash, I'll put img, it is image 2, right? So I'll do like that. So if I refresh, you see that, right? But here you can know that this is a full image, but this one can communicate that there is still another full image for this. Okay, so to do that is the class of img. So I've surrounded it with a link that takes us to the img, the full name. So if I click on it, then you see the full image. Okay, so I hope you've seen how I've done that. I just surrounded it with the img tag, and then this thumbnail, it will make it to just communicate to the brain of our vista that this is not the exact full image. So by just doing this kind of whitish thing, okay, so when you click on it, then you can see the what? The full image. So I hope you've understood that. That's how you use img thumbnail. Thumbnail means just a brief of an image. Okay, so we have other classes like img fluid. img fluid, we shall look at it later, but we shall look how it is important later. But here at this moment, let me just try to elaborate how it works here. So let me make this an image 3. So if I come and refresh, we have this image. So if I give it img fluid, someone has escaped. I refresh. It's not showing any change. But when we shall proceed to the next classes, when we shall look at complex CSS, we shall look at this img fluid. It helps us for the image to be responsive. It makes the image not to go beyond the container that is containing it. That's the use of img fluid. It's not that powerful class, but it makes the image to be responsive either to a mobile phone or to any class. I mean to any device. So we proceed. These are just rounded block, the things that we have looked at them. So I proceed. Yeah, IMG block. Wait, IMG block, no. D block. We shall look at that class later, not now. So we proceed. We go to Jumbotron. Jumbotron is very useful class. We use it for communication. So let me create here a special class for Jumbotron, a special file for Jumbotron. So Ctrl+Shift+S, and then I'll make this one to be 5, and then this one to be Jumbotron. Then I save, and then I say open with what? Open with Sublime Text. I mean open the browser, and then I remove these other things. So this Jumbotron, it helps us to communicate information. To create a Jumbotron, you simply give a class of div, and then you give a class of what? Jumbotron, like this. Okay, so Jumbotron normally have a heading. For example, H1, I can put H2, tab key, maybe I say alert, and then if I refresh, I come here and refresh, I'll see something, this beautiful UI. Can you see that? Really beautiful. Okay, we can use it to communicate something. Okay, for example, alert. Maybe I can say it has a HR, can give a horizontal rule. Can you see that beautiful line? This Jumbotron is always even responsive, that line. Okay, and then you can also give a description, maybe a p tag, and say maybe your account was created successfully. Okay, it's just nothing but a UI that can help us to communicate something in a beautiful way. So you see, so I can give a button here, I can maybe put a tag and then put hash here. We have not looked at button, but we shall look at them later. For example, I can put here login. Okay, so Ahad is joining. Next time you should be careful with that connection, really. So you see, this is just simple link. Okay, but let me make it a what? Let me make it a button. So to make it a button, I'll simply give it a class and put btn, and then to make it this button. Then if I put btn and then I give it contextual color, maybe primary, then I'll have this beautiful button, and then I can give it float right, and then you see within seconds I have such a beautiful user interface, beautiful UI. That's the power of what? Of Jumbotron. So you can be creative and use it in many different ways. Okay, it's just as simple as that. So we proceed to something else. So we shall go to alerts. Very important things, alerts. So you have to be attentive here. We shall use them so much when it comes to our projects. Ctrl+Shift+S, and then I'll save this one as what? As number 6, and then put what? Alert. Okay, let me make it small later. Alert, I save. So so have that, and then this is alert. So it's already alert. I'll remove this one. Okay, so alert. Okay, so I'll come and give alert. Okay, to create an alert, we use alerts to communicate, right? I repeat, we use alert to communicate information. Sometimes let me show you something. How should I show you? Okay. I cannot check my internet when I'm connected. Okay, sometimes you need to communicate some information. Maybe a user is trying to access the place that is not supposed to access. Maybe someone has entered the wrong password. Maybe someone has placed the order successfully. Maybe you want to send a message to the what? To the user. We normally use what? We normally use the alert. And this is how the alerts look like. Okay? Now, if I want to say maybe someone has created their account successfully, so to create alert UI, you give a div, and then you give a class of what? Of alert first, just a alert first, and then in this alert you can put a paragraph, or you can just leave the content the way it is. Maybe your account has been suspended for 3 weeks. Okay, so if I want to see this, I'll click on, can you see? By just putting only the class of alert, let me remove alert. It is just, so if I put the class of alert, it will not change anything, but it will just put some padding and be like that. Now, this alert, they also have contextual colors. So if I want to put a contextual color, those exact color that we use, you attach it on alert first, alert, and then you put a contextual color. For example, this is a what? Is it a success message? Of course no. Okay, this is not a success message. The user will, by the brain, he will think everything is okay. Okay, but if we use these colors to communicate to the brain, even without even reading the message. So if I put alert, then danger, then the user, when you just say, hey, automatically you know something is what? Is wrong. I hope you get my point, okay? So we use this kind to communicate to the users. So I can make here something like that. Or I can put here another alert, and then I put it alert what? Alert success, and then it will go with the corresponding message, and then I maybe say like you have, okay, you have successfully placed your order. Okay, so that's a success message, and that's how we shall see that. So this success, we can also put a B tag, a bold tag. For example, I can put here my B, B tag, a strong tag. Okay, maybe I can say success to communicate the context of this message. So if you put the B tag, that's how it look like. Success, you have been selected for something like that. So I hope you get the point, right? So we can play with these contextual colors by sending warning message, and then you'll see that kind of warm color, and then you can say dark, then dark. Did they alert dark? I hope so. You see, that's how to look like. So beautiful. So we proceed. That's all about alerts. When we shall come to these closable alerts that you can close, we shall first look at Bootstrap. At the JavaScript of Bootstrap, and we shall look at that later, not today. So we come to buttons. Buttons are very useful UIs that we use on in Bootstrap. So I'll save this one as 7, and then I put here buttons. Okay, I put here buttons, save. Okay, so I'll come and change this one to buttons. You guys, I hope you've got that techniques of saving as. Okay, Ctrl-Shift-S, that technique of saving. Have you got it? Ctrl-Shift-S, yeah. You just resume from where I stopped. So I'll come to buttons, and then okay, let us now look at buttons. So a button, you just simply put button, and then you can say maybe login. So login So without, I'll just say open with what? Open with browser, open in Sublime Text. Okay, so without putting any class, this is a default Bootstrap button without putting any class. So these buttons, we can play with them. First of all, to put a button, it's just like alert. You remember before we first give class in alert, what could we do? We could first give a class of alert. Also to button, first give a class of btn. So by first giving a class of btn, it will obey to the rules of Bootstrap. They remove those padding and margin and the borders. Okay. Then after you give the what? The context. Maybe it is btn primary. Then you have that bluish color. Very beautiful button. I can give btn danger. Then it will have this beautiful color. Okay. I can give btn info. btn info. You know these contextual colors. The more I practice, the more I get good at them. So those are the buttons. They can make as many as we want. I can give btn dark, and then to make for us these dark buttons. Okay, so we can proceed. Button link here. You can come and play with them. There's another one, outline button. You can make an outline button by simply br. So here, if you want to make an outline button, we just add here btn outline, and then same contextual colors that we are using, but with the word outline between the context and the word and the btn. So you see the difference here. Let me add here some br. Let's see the difference between outline and what and the plain button. So these are both button dark, but you see this one is what is button outline. It will have that border and then this color. This one is just the btn directly. So that's how they are. Outline, so according to your design, you can choose which one to use. So we proceed. We can resize these buttons. We can resize them. For example, I can say this one is btn sm. So in Bootstrap, also the sizing, we use sm, lg, and sm and mg, md, medium. No. In sizing, we use sm and lg. In sizing, md we use them for the screen sizes, but here we use sm and lg. Okay, the default one, you leave it the way it is. So if you put btn sm, it will be a little bit smaller compared to the other. Can you see this one? This is sm. So if we have this and put lg, this one will be a little bit larger. Okay, and a default button is this one without the what? Without the sizing, the medium. So if you refresh, this is the normal, smaller and larger. So we shall not sleep there. We shall proceed. You can enable and disable buttons. For example, I can put here disabled, and then by just adding a class of what? Of disable. Can you see? This disable. So if you add this disable class, then that button will just communicate to the user, and he will just know why is this button disabled, yet you did not tell him whether what. So to talk to him, you use that disabled. You see, this one can see how it is live, it is alive, but this one, it's a dead button. How do you make it dead? By adding just this class of what? Of disabled. So we proceed. We have these buttons with what? With spinners. You can come and play with them. We don't need to memorize this code. Just come and copy. But the more you practice, the more it gets into your what? Into your brain. So I'll paste that code here. It's just a button, and then it is having a spinner inside. And we shall look at these spinners. So if I refresh, I'll have something like this one. Can you see? It's beautiful. You can play with them. You can even add this loading one. Fatomata, where have you gone? You there? Okay, I can't see you. I can't see you. Okay, I see you now. So you see that button. So when you're loading, you can disable it, and when you have successfully loaded, then you can enable it with what? With JavaScript. So that's how we can play with these buttons of Bootstrap. So to finish, before I finish, we can also make our links to be buttons, like the way I showed you in the alert. For example, I have here my A tag. Oh, the class gonna end. Zoom is not fair now. I think I'll add you more 30 minutes if you don't mind. How do you see, guys? Okay. So immediately after this class, I'll share another link for the next class. Immediately. No break. Okay. Yeah, with no break. So I can put here maybe like. So this is a link. You see? I'm going to turn it to a what? Into a button. Can you see? Let me put here some BR tag. Can you see? This is just a what? A link. Okay? So I'm going to turn it to a what? Into a button. So I'll give it a class and put btn. So if I put the btn, so you can see our link has started having the features of button. So I put btn, then I put button what? Button context. Btn danger. Then I refresh. You see, I have a button. But it is a what? It is a link in reality. Okay? So that's how we can turn our buttons into links, which is very powerful technique. So we proceed. We proceed to button groups. So in Bootstrap, we can group buttons. So to group a button, I think, let me make also another what? Another file, Ctrl-Shift-S. I'll make this one file number what? Number 8, and save it as button groups. So I'll come and delete all this, and then come and copy this. Okay, copy this and just paste it here. So here, to make a button group, you know, sometimes the buttons are related. So if some buttons are related, it is better to group them for better user experience. For example, these are brands of what? Of mobile phones, right? Hadi, can you mute your microphone until you want to talk something? People are shouting. Okay. So I have. Okay, I say that if you want to, I mean, if some things are related, for example, these are mobile phone brands, you can put them into a what? Into a group. So to make a group, you create a div or a container and put a class of what? Or btn group, then you put buttons inside. Okay? And then you put btn and then btn. So this one only, just like the normal buttons, this one only will do the magic and let's make this button to be what? In group. So if I refresh, can you see? It has done the magic and put the end here and end here and end here. So you can choose here your best mobile Samsung, mobile brand that you want. Let me put here, maybe iPhone and Apple, are they the same? I think so, yeah. Let me put Nokia. Put Nokia. So if I put there, so you see, it will have just, so that's what you call btn group. You can play with these you can be creative and use this btn grouping in many different ways. Your creativity is the limit. Okay, so for example, I can use them. Maybe I want here, maybe edit, and maybe here. Okay, I can put here maybe view. The class is going to end. I put edit and put here what? Delete. We just see it ending. So if I come and refresh, so these buttons are always related. I can come here and put maybe primary and change this one to be what? Warning, and change this one to be danger. So by doing that, you see, I have this beautiful UI. Okay, so you can play with those group buttons the more. You can also resize them. Okay, by resizing, just come and put here to the parent, and then maybe give btn group maybe sm btn group sm. Okay, so it will make them to be what? Of smaller size. You can resize them, but to resize them you use oh, where is it though? You use what? You use the parent container. Okay, so the class, it may end anytime this session, and then I'll start another session immediately. So before it ends, maybe Zoom can forget and forgive us. Before it ends, let us jump to another thing, badges. Okay, so that's all about buttons. You can come and play with them more and more and more. Let us look at what? At badges. So we use badges to communicate short messages. You remember alerts? You remember alerts, right? Now we use badges to communicate. Alerts, use them to communicate like kind of long message, but use badges to communicate very short message and important. So I'll come and copy this and then save a new file. Control Shift what? S, and then double click on this, and then I'll change this one to what? To number 9. So there we are. There we are. I'll come and remove these. Put here badges. Badges are very useful UIs. We use them to communicate important messages. Maybe there are badges. So to create a badge, you simply give a what? It can either be a span tag, it can either be a div, it can be anything, but we normally use span tags. Maybe you can put 1. Okay, so if I put 1 and then I give class what? Badge. Okay, so by doing that, let me open in the browser. By doing that, I'll have something like this. Okay, can you see this? Just this simple one. Okay, now if I give badge, I also give it a contextual colors. That's why I say that these contextual colors are very important, because we use them in almost everything. Can you see? I'll have that useful user interface. Assume that you have our okay. Now we can use these, but these badges, we can use them to communicate danger, success, info, all of them. We can as well make these badges to be kind of a pill. Let me show you. There are different two things here. Maybe make it BR, again BR. So if I put here badge pill, what's the name of the class though? Badge pill. It's not suggesting. Why? Badge pill. Let us see how it look like and the difference. So if I refresh, can you see? Badge pill will be kind of oval. This one will just have some rounded borders. Can you see the difference, members? So this will be ovalish, and then so it just depends on you and what you're making to choose which one to use. So those are badges. We use them to communicate very short message but important. I don't know. Have you ever? Let me ask you, Fatoumata. According to every website that you use every day, let me ask you where you've seen badges, and you answer me in 2 seconds. Where have you seen the badges? In 2 seconds. Where? You failed. Okay, Hadija will not ask you. So to process, what is this? You use Facebook every day, but what is this? What am I pointing at? It cannot zoom it. Can you see? What is this? What is that? It's a badge, right? So you have asked you just a simple question. you see this badge every day. In fact, when you, like the way I told you, it is a what? It is used to communicate very short. Hadi has not joined. Say something. She has joined. She's joining. She's joining. Call me instead. You can't call me, Fatumata. When did you last call me? On business. You always call me on business. You can't call me to say hi. Hey! Maybe, no, I don't know. When did you last meet? On this Zoom thing. I want to see you face to face. Yeah, Corona. Hadi, have you arrived? You have arrived, eh? Okay, let us push for more. 40 minutes? Okay, are you ready? Okay, let's do this. Okay. Let us go to our business. Okay, I was talking about what? About badges. They are very useful, but people don't notice them. But did you know that every day when you go to Facebook, where do your eyes first go? To the badges. Did you know that? Fatumata. Yeah, but we never mind about them. Why? Because we were not programmers before. Now we are learning to become programmers. Now we have to mind about them. But we were users. We used to be just users. So you couldn't care about everything. You could just pass on things. That's why I even ask you, where have you seen the badges before? You say, I cannot remember. Yet, every day, even on your WhatsApp, go to your WhatsApp and you see the badges. The number of messages, those are badges. You'll see there's a badge. The number of messages, the number of message of status posts, all those are badges, but we never mind about them because we are not programmers. Now we are programmers. Now we shall start even minding about them. What's the color of the badge? What's the design of the badge? All those things. I hope you've got my point, guys. You see? Yeah. So proceed. That's a what? That's a badge. So you can play with these badges. You see? Let me show you this UI. You asked that, but those ones are clickables. These ones are not clickable. Yeah, it's up to you to make it a clickable or not. Let me show you a clickable badge. It's just a UI. You can put it anywhere. You can put it inside the link. You can surround it with a link. Look at this. It is surrounded with a what? With a button. Okay, but it's a what? It's a badge. This one is just a button, which is having BTN primary messages, and then badge light. That is badge which will be white. So it is going to be opposite to this color, so you can simply see it. And then it's having 4. So if you come and refresh here, you'll see beautiful UI like this one. You see? Really beautiful. With just simple lines of code. And someone will just say, hey, I have 4 messages. Simply without complication. But they don't know what's a badge because they are users, right? So for us, we should know. Okay? Okay. So progress bars. This one we shall look at them when we come to JavaScript. They're nothing just. Okay? We shall look at them when we come to JavaScript. Spinners, they are nothing also. You can come and play with them. Let me just save them to show that I taught. Maybe one day you guys say, hey, you never taught us. And then I'll have to use this one to do what? To work as the reference. Oh, I did not put the underscore. And it will disorganize my work if I don't do that. Okay. So there we are. I can delete this one. Okay. So I'll delete this. Put here spinners. So with Bootstrap 4, it came with that. It brought to us these spinners. Okay. They are useful UIs. We can display them when you're loading something. So you don't need even to memorize them. They're just a class of 2. So you create a div and give it a spinner. Spinner border, and then you give it the context color. Can you see? Text and the context, whether it is black or blue or red or what, or danger. So if I open the browser, we shall have beautiful UI like this one. So it is better to display them when maybe you're loading a certain page or when you're loading a certain result. So it will communicate to the user's brain that something is what? Is loading. You can even display it for fun, but the user say, there's something is loading on your website, it is not finishing. But who did that? It's just you who placed a what? A spinner. So we have that kind of spinner. We have these ones also. These ones are border spinner. Let us look at these ones. These ones are glow spinner. You just put spinner and then glow and then the contextual color. Then you'll have this glowish spinner. Can you see? These ones. Really beautiful UIs. But I don't mean that you should use all of them at once. You use one of them. And according to the what? To the colors that you're using. Okay? You can put them inside a button. You can put them inside the what? Inside the link. So pagination. This pagination is not important at this moment. We shall look at it when you come to the back-end development. Okay? Not useful at all at this moment. So come to lists. So these lists are useful. So I'll come to save as, and then I'll save this one as 11 and then group lists. So I'll come and change this heading to Bootstrap. Of course, this Bootstrap lists group. Okay, so thereafter I'll remove this content and then I come. So to create a list group, you just create a UL and an ordered list or ordered list, any of them, and then you give it a class of list group in the parent UL, and then you specify your classes, and each item you give it list group what? List group item. By doing that, you'll have something beautiful like this one. Can you see? Really beautiful and responsive. Can you see? Such a nice list. Okay, so let us play with these lists. First, you can make a certain item active. Okay, Hadija, you're following? I saw as if you're sleeping. You're following, right? Good. So I can put here L1, Li. Maybe I can put here, what should I say? Cities in Gambia. Gambia hotels. Gambia hotels. Okay, Fatu, tell us one. Atlantic. Okay, don't mind about my spelling. Beach. Is this the spelling of beach? Yeah, not the other beach. Beach hotel. Another one. I'm just showing you how you can implement. You can use this list to implement them in real life. Another one. Yeah. Karaba. You know the beach hotels. If you ask Khadija, she will just tell you Islamiyat Hotel, whatever hotel. Sharia. Karamba. Kairaba. You guys go to bars like this. Okay. Okay. Hadija will just hear her listing Maulana hotels. Okay. One more list. One more. Sambat, Islamabad. Sunbad. Wow. Sunbad Hotel. Which one have you been in before? You don't need to go there unless it is necessary. Maybe on the honeymoon, can go there and spend 1 week. One more, Hadija, the one that you'd like to go on your honeymoon. Coco Ocean. Wow, shall go there inshallah. When I come to Gambia, I'll come spend my night there. So if we refresh, we shall have this one. So you see, this one you're having a list of Gambia hotels, top 5 hotels. So we see this element, it is like this. Why? Because I'm not giving it this class. So if I give it this class, it will have something like this. Okay, but this is a title, right? It is a title, it's not part of the list. So if you want to make a title to be outstanding, I'll give it a what? A class of active. Just put active. Okay, then you'll have something beautiful like that. Okay, so Gambia top hotels, top 5 hotels, top 5 hotels. Then you have this, and showing you how it is related to this by doing like that. Okay, so with that simple code, you can make such a beautiful user interface. So you should practice them and more so that you become good at them. So we have this list variable. If you want to make this, see this list is alive, right? This one is not alive. Okay, it's not clickable. But if you want to make your list kind of clickable, you have to give it inside the what? Inside the link. It has to be inside the what? To be in a link. So let me just come and, what should I do? I should just come and copy this and come this one. So if this one are just normal list, but you can also make the list of what? Of links. So if I come and change this one to what? A tag, a tag, change this a tag, and then come and paste this one. They're just the normal list that we did before. I just put them and a what and that kind of. Maybe in case you want someone to be clicking, you see, they're just still the same exactly. But when I move over, I see it is clickable. Maybe you want someone to click on this and then take them to the website of that hotel. So we give them in form of what? In form of links. So your comprage, you understand? We have list flash. This list flash will just have a plain list like this. BR. So list flash will have this kind of list. Good. So proceed. You can have also horizontal list like this one. Can you see? You can make also a list like this one by just adding this horizontal class on the list item. So you can make a simple horizontal list like this. Okay, so you can make maybe here it can be a menu, it can be even a menu. Maybe you say this one is home, and then this one is maybe messages, this one is the notifications. I hope that spelling is correct. Answer maybe is profile. Profile. So by just adding this class of horizontal, list group horizontal, it will make for you something like this. It is a list, but you see, it's in form of horizontal. And you can remember, if you change this one to a tags, it will become a what? They'll become links. Such a beautiful UI within just a simple what? Within just simple lines of code. I hope you understand. And then you can put your badges there. You see how things are related. Span, and then I can put here 0. Maybe this is the girl that they no longer care about, and she's having no message. Yeah, you guys, we send you messages because we still care about you. But you wait. See? Come 2 days, message is 0. Then you can put message 0, you can put notification 0. Then why don't you be proud for us disturbing you? You see? It's a problem. So I can change these messages to 15, 150 messages, 150 notification, and 75 messages in one day. Boom, you're on form. Okay, so that's beautiful UI. So you can play with these UIs as much as you can. So you should be inspired with those. So we proceed to cards. Yes, yeah, moving. So cards, you should be attentive. The cards are very useful UIs also. So I'll save this one as what? As cards. So cards, I'll remove this and then put here Bootstrap cards. So what are cards? We use cards to communicate our useful message which is related. A snippet, we call them snippets that are related. For example, you want to communicate a message with a photo, with some text, and with a link, and all these messages are related together. So you may need to use a what? You may need to use a card. Do you know that almost everything in Facebook is a card? Let me zoom out. It is taking long to zoom out. Okay, you see, all these are cards. Can you see? Okay, it's loading, right? I'm going to. Now you see, look at this. Look at this. Just let us try to look at this. We are having an image. We are having, sorry, it's still loading. We are having a what? An image. We are having a link. We are having some text, which is also a link, and we're having a button. We're having a link, and all of these are related to one element. Okay? So this is what we call a what? We call it a card. If I move it here, I'll see another one. If I move here, I'll see another one. Just something that is related to each other and is having some kind of image, information, that is information, okay? This is also a card. For example, see, this is my friend Kamara. Here there's an image, here there's a link, here there is some paragraph of messages, here there's an icon, here there's another big image, here there's some images, and here some comments. So all of them is a card. Just you should know, a lot of things on Facebook, they are organized in a card. Things that are related are organized in a what? In a card. So let's look at some Bootstrap cards. Let's look at some Bootstrap card. You can come here and Bootstrap and search a what? And search a card. So by putting card, then it will bring you cards. So you can read these text, but with saving time, I'll just copy this. Tap. I'll explain them, okay? Don't worry. I'll come and paste it here, and then now you see it's a div, nothing but it's just a div, and it's having a class of card, and we're having a width. This is just a style of width, and then we're having an image on top. Okay, so this card, if you want to give it an image like the way I told you here, did you see this Facebook what? Facebook cards. Can you see? It's having an image on top. But it's not necessary. It's not necessary. You shouldn't memorize that every time you should have an image. No. You can use it even without what? Without an image. So it is having an image on top for this card. And that image, we give it a class of img top. If in case it's having an image on top. And then it is having a body. So you create a div and give it a what? A class of card body. And this card body, you're having, for example, a heading title. Okay? And then you're having some explanation of what is going on here in this heading. And this one, you give it maybe H1, H2, H3, and then you give it a class of card title. Then it will see how it handles. It will see how it handles that. And then you give it the text in case there's an explanation. So you give it card text. And then you give it the link. You have a link maybe here. And this link, they have turned it into what? Into a button. So let me open this and we see. They're just classes, nothing big. So that's our card. Now this image is the wrong image. Let us give it a correct image. Remember, I have some images here inside the what? IMG. So I'll come here and give src img stroke what? Stroke 1.jpg. So by doing that, refresh, boom, we have such a beautiful UI. Okay, such a beautiful UI without any pain. Maybe I can say this is my friend Fatuma, not you. Fatomata. Okay, and then I'll put here her photo. Let me see if I have some photos here that you should see how we can relate these things. Okay, I have a photo here, beautiful. Let me look at a beautiful girl here. Don't I have beautiful girls in my phone? Oh, all of them are horrible. Okay, let me take our Minister of Health. Yeah, she's that one. Okay. So I'll come to Fatu. Fatu. Where did I click? Oh my god, I click on PDF. Fatu folder. Where is it? to folder, it is here, and then I'll come to img, and then I'll paste this photo here. Let me rename it to a simple name. Do you know the shortcut of renaming? It is F2. If you want to rename something faster, just press F2. So that is our Minister of Health. If you didn't know her, do you even want to know her? You don't care. So that's her. So I'll come here and change Fatoumata, and then I think I'll end up loving this name. That it will take me time. So you see that beautiful UI, just like our Facebook kind of. Okay, so Fatoumata Conte. Hey, you guys have names. Fatoumata Conte. Then I can put here a description, her description. I'm just showing you how you can implement these things. Computer science and engineering student at Islamic University of Tech in Bangla. Okay, say in Dhaka City. Dhaka City. That's a simple description about Fatuma. Okay, visit profile. Okay, read more. Read more. So why can't you make your website and make profiles for people? Put there the photo. Fatoumata Conte, a computer science and engineering student based in the Dhaka City. Read more. So if I want to read more, I click there and then read more. So that's one way of using what? Using cards. Okay? But don't memorize that it should only be on human beings. This card can be a product. Buy now. It can be something else. Many things. So it just depends on your heart and creativity. You can even make it more creative than me. Okay? So you see this card? I told you that you should not memorize that cards should only contain what? It must contain an image and some paragraphs and head. No, don't memorize like that. We can still use these cards just to explain something simple like this. Can you see this card? This is also what? This is also a card, but it's having only one paragraph. Can you see this card? That beautiful UI. Just only one paragraph. So let us proceed. This card can also exist without image. It's not a crime. Okay? Can exist without what? Without image. So I told you that in your free time, instead of watching Netflix all the time, watch some little Netflix, then come to what? After watching your Netflix, spare some time, come to Bootstrap what? Our website and play with these things. So if you want this code, you just simply click here, tap, and then they'll give you the code, and then you can modify it. So I told that it's not necessary that every time your card should have a what? An image. You can still use it to communicate something else. Oh, I put this thing in a wrong div. Let me first close the div here. Can you see? Can you see? This is also a card. It's having a card title, subtitle, some explanation, and some links. So don't memorize that every time image. Okay? So this is a card. You can also make a list of cards, but this one just like our group list. So you don't need this, just repetition. So you can also make a card which is having more than what? More than one separations. And this one is called what? Card footer. This one on bottom. And this one on top is called card header. You can come and play with these ones. I'll not sleep here. But I'll just show you one more thing. This image can also be where? On bottom. That's the last thing that I'm going to show you here. So just look at this. Okay, I've put just on bottom, and I've put it outside the what? Outside the body. Okay, just look at this. If I refresh, can you see here clearly, guys? Can you see? Okay, it is on bottom, right? But you see here, I'm trying to zoom. Can you see here? It is still rounded on top, yet it is relevant here. So yet on bottom it's not what? It's not rounded. Can you see here? On bottom it's not rounded. So if you want to make this image, if you want it on bottom, so you have to put card img. Can you guess? Bottom, right? Bottom. Okay, so by doing that, it will then give a relevant size. Now you can see here it is still a square, and then on bottom it is what? It is rounded. I hope you've got the point, right? So don't memorize that all the time. The card should be what? Should be on top. This image can also be in the middle, no problem. Okay, so we proceed. Those were cards for you. Come and play with these things, please. In your free time, come and play with them. Please, please, please. Don't spend all the free time doing something else, but you can come in the some of free time and play with those things. So drop downs. These drop downs, you shall look them later. I'll tell you the right time when you shall look at them. Okay, but not now. Okay, drop down, you shall look them after JavaScript. So not now. Collapse, we shall look them after JavaScript. Not now. So those things we shall come back to them. I know when. Okay, nerves, we shall come back to them. Don't even disturb yourself practicing nerves at this moment. Navbar, we shall come back to them. Don't practice them right now. So we shall come to what? To forms today. Forms. The class has been too long, but no worries. I know you're strong ladies. These are just water to you. So I'll put 3, and then I'll put forms. So I'll come and change this one to what? To Bootstrap forms. So members, you should always remind me, after we got introduction to jQuery, you should remind me that we skipped these things, so that I should not eat your money for free. Okay, and I'll come back for them. So let us look at Bootstrap forms. Okay, forms. Okay, you're going to finish the class in the next 10 minutes, and then you'll go and rest in peace. Now, Bootstrap forms are very, very, very useful. Let me just copy this and I'll explain it, okay? Really useful. They help us to create well-responsive forms. Now, look at this. To create a group form, okay, let me just explain it. To create a group, you see div, and then you put a form group. Okay, this form group will make sure that this label of this input is organized with this, with its right what? I mean the label and the input, they are organized in the right places. Let me open this in the browser and you see. Can you see this? First of all, let me remove this form control and you see how to look like. Form control, I'll remove it, and then I'll remove this form group. So I'll refresh, we shall have this ugly thing like this. Okay? So if you want your form to be, your form input to be organized like this one, first of all, you create a div and give it a class of form group. So it will make sure that even though it is on any kind of mobile phone, it is responsive to its size. So put form group, and then you give it a label, but it's not necessary that you should give all the time label. It just depends on your own design. And then this label, you don't need to give it a class, and then give a div. Give an input that you want to collect. So if I refresh, we have this, but it has not responded to this. So if you want this input to be responsive to Bootstrap rules, you give it an input called form control. So by giving it form control, they will make it to be 100% to the container that's containing it. They'll put this label on top and then give it this kind of beautiful border. Okay, So if you click on it, then it'll give it this kind of bluish active input. So what the power of that is form control. And even though our website is viewed on the mobile phone, these forms, they will always be responsive. Okay? So even if you see I'm zooming, but they're still what? They are still responsive. So that's the power of form control, a really useful class. Form control and the form group. So what the use of of label. This label, it helps us to know where exactly we are editing. You see, I'm clicking. When I click on this, it automatically focuses here. And how do we do that? First of all, the input, you must give it a what? An ID. You give it an ID. For example, it's having an ID of email. And then inside this label, you give it 4, and then you reference the ID. For example, I can say this label is for this password. So if I put this PW here, so you see how it look like. I refresh. Before we were clicking on this and it was focusing on this. But you see, if I click on this, it is focusing on this one. Why? Because we are referencing the ID of the password. So to improve on the good user experience, we use labels. They are not necessary, but for the better, good user experience, we use labels and they make them reference the IDs of the what? Of their respective inputs. Okay? So that's form control for you. This card we have finished. So form control, we can also make inline elements, inline form like this one by just, let me copy this. You just, there's no, it's just as simple as that. There's not too much Chinese here. There's not too much logic, okay? So it's just form control and what? And form group, and it will make for you beautiful things like those one. Not too much logic there. So you'll just see the class ending, and then I'll send you the what to do in your inboxes. Okay? You get me? Very good. So if I refresh, we can make a what? An inline form. Making such inline form with your plain CSS, it will be really horrible. Okay? So I can space, for example, if I want to space, can you see? It's just, I just put form inline inside the top form itself, and then I do the same thing that I was using before, and then to create for us an inline form. I can put some margin left, for example, here. You see this label? I can put margin left. Do you still remember margin left? Who still remember it? It is M, L, 2. You've forgotten already. So ML2, can you see? It will put this kind of margin. Can you see this margin? Before it was attached to each other. So you can resize them as much as you can. ML4, can you see? This margin kind of. You should play with these things in order to get used of them. Otherwise, it will be hard. So come and play with them in your free time, please. And then I can put here also margin. This is a radio input. Where is it? It is here. So I have just ML3, ML2, and then you see, to create here some spacing, ML4, and create some spacing. So to create something beautiful, you just need to give it time and practice more on it. Okay? So that's inline form, and that's all about forms. Just form control. So in the next class, we shall look at what? At form inputs. You can change these contextual colors by using the borders. Border, danger, border success. Then these colors will change. So form inputs, we shall look at them in the next class, inshallah. They're just form control, nothing big. Just give form control. Form control is what is working here, nothing big. So with just see, form group, form control, everything in Bootstrap forms, form control. So we shall also not sleep there. So form groups, just form control, nothing big. Form group and form, control. So you'll just come and practice them. In the next class, we shall begin from the grid system here. So in the next class, we shall begin from here. I saw someone complain that was not simple for them. It is really important. This is where the Bootstrap starts from. We have not started Bootstrap. The Bootstrap will start from here. So assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Unless you have a question. No. Okay. So have a good day. I'll send you what to do in your inboxes. Hadi, say hi. Say goodbye to me, Hadija. Just say goodbye. When are we going to meet again? Do you have business? Oh yeah, I'm waiting. Canva. Maybe, but try this if you teach Fatumata Canva. Fatumata, do you know Canva? Would you like to know it? And will you teach her for free? Okay. Fatu, please ask Hadi to teach you Canva. It's really important application. Yeah. So in the next class, you should be knowing Canva, inshallah. But you'll submit your assignment for Canva to me, not to her. Yeah. She'll give you assignment, and you'll submit it to me. You, Fatumata. It's just one class, 1 hour class, and you'll understand everything. It's not so big technology. Then I'll wait for an assignment. For the assignment. And you'll give her assignment. Fat, you'll submit assignment to me. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, I'll share the video link later in case you want to see.